What's up, guys? Been a little time. I have finally got some reasons to make some content. If you see, I rewrapped the Tesla. We went with a nice baby blue shade. This is kind of like I don't know if you've been a subscriber for a couple years now, you probably remember seeing the Silverado that I had that was wrapped this exact color. It's cheetah wrap gloss light blue. I think it looks pretty cool on the Tesla. But anyway, we have another mod. I didn't really video that because I've wrapped so many cars on here that it's kind of normal. And the Tesla's really easy to wrap. It's not that difficult. It's a pretty smooth car with not a lot of crazy edges, so the wrap just kind of goes right down. But anyway, I've got another mod that I've actually never done before, and so I'm really excited to try it out. I wanted the interior of the car to kind of match the exterior of the car, and if you remember, probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I had the ZL1 Camaro, and one of my favorite things about that car was all the Alcantara suede on the interior of the car. Well, the Tesla has a fair share of suede as well. So you can see on the doors, they've got accents of suede. And so I wanted to, I brought the wrap a little bit into the inside as well. So I wanted to do something that matched. So I got an Alcantara DIY, I guess you sew it on steering wheel cover. And then the stitching that it comes with is light blue. And it's got light blue thread. So it's not perfect, but close enough that it will match the color of the car. And I've never done this before, so it's kind of interesting to me how it's going to work. Watched a couple videos online, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it. So we're going to tackle this today and try to turn my Tesla steering wheel into an Alcantara steering wheel. So first thing we're going to do is I've got a rag here with some isopropyl alcohol. So we're just going to wipe the steering wheel down just to make sure there's no grease or oils or anything on it. We just don't want the steering wheel cover to slide around, or I don't know. I feel like we should probably clean it before we do anything. And this alcohol does a really good job of removing grease and oil. It says to do is to turn your steering wheel 180 degrees and basically center it upside down. We're gonna put the steering wheel cover on upside down first. I think that makes it easier to center because there's this stitch line here in the top of the steering wheel, and in the cover there's also, let's see here you go. In the cover there's also this seam, so we can pretty well line it up here. Now, these steering wheel covers are super tight. Like, it's intended to be a snug fit, so you kind of got to work it to get it on the wheel. It helps when you have two hands. All right, so let's get this thing. You can see it's not quite lined up, so we're going to slide it over and try to line it up. But got the cover on and centered. And we've got it pulled about halfway, and you can see when we sew this on, it will kind of meet right at the diameter of the steering wheel, and so our stitches will hold it together. And already it feels really good just having suede around your hand instead of this like vegan leather or whatever they call it on this car. So what we're going to do, you start stitching first, and then after you stitch, then we come back with this tool that they give us, this little squeegee. It's like a plastic squeegee, and we're going to basically tuck up under the covers on the steering wheel to get it all to fit snug. So that's pretty much how we do it. And what we'll do is we'll stitch this to this, and it'll stop. Then we'll stitch here all the way around, and then we'll stitch the last piece. So I'm actually probably going to stitch these two smaller pieces first. Pretty sure. But the main thing is when we're stitching it, we want to keep it tight, keep the knots tight, and keep it in the center of the steering wheel. So we're going to have to like roll the steering wheel cover forward or backwards to make sure that seam ends up right in the middle where we want it. All right, I've got a little bit going here. It's kind of hard to see. It's like a baseball stitch. Need my camera to work a little better here. I need to switch over to like non-crazy mode. Okay. Anyway, it's like a baseball stitch. There it goes. You can see it a little better there. I'm actually not poking through the suede. I'm basically looping on the existing stitches that are there. So I'll come this way and I'll hook my loop through that existing blue stitch and pull it over, hook it through the other blue stitch, and I'm just kind of weaving back and forth between the stitch on the back and the stitch on the front, the stick on the back and the stitch on the front, all the way up. And the whole time I'm just adjusting, trying to keep that seam right where I want it all the way up. So it's actually coming out pretty good. It's centered really well and it's tight. The fit of this is really snug. It fits the steering wheel pretty perfect. So I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna keep going and get this one section done, and then we'll kind of reconvene. One side is done. It looks pretty good. A little bit of wrinkles. You can see where the stitches are kind of pulling the material, but you can't really tell from back here, and I think it'll soften up over time as it gets acclimated to the wheel. Still pretty centered and snug. The stitching is like even. I've got to trim the string and tuck everything, but I'm gonna wait till I'm completely finished with the wheel to do that. So, man, I like it so far. Pretty cool. All right, we're gonna keep going. Got two sides done now. The whole bottom section of the steering wheel. I think I'm gonna go ahead and tuck this just so I can get a feeling for like how it's gonna go when I start to tuck it. And that'll help me do these a little better, I think. So yeah, coming along good so far. Progress here. I'm about almost halfway through the top part of it, from here all the way to here. Everything's still fitting really good. Stitches are still nice. Top part, I actually finished tucking this. Tuck's really good too. I'm really liking it. Super cheap mod too. I mean, this thing cost me $20 on AliExpress, and I know you got to wait a couple weeks to get it, but for $20, I mean, it's hard to beat, especially as snug and tight as it's going on. It'll fit once I tuck these edges right here and finish. I think it'll fit very similar to like a factory wheel. Like I said, I'm comparing this to the ZL1 wheel, which was Alcantara as well. So already it feels very similar to that steering wheel. Just the tightness of it and just how the I guess the plushness of the wheel. It's not very loose on there. It doesn't roll any. It doesn't move. So happy with it so far. We're gonna keep going and try to wrap this thing up. All right, so we're all done with the steering wheel, and it looks really nice. I drove it this morning, and it feels good. It's not loose. Trimmed everything, and we also got another package in the mail today. We got two different types of steering wheel inserts, and they kind of go like this right here on the upper part of the steering wheel, as well as down here in the lower part. And I wasn't sure which one I wanted to go with, so I got suede and like a carbon fiber look. And my only gripe with the carbon fiber look is to me, it doesn't look like carbon fiber fully. I wish the pattern was a little more woven instead of just a printed zigzag, but it looks better than the stock wheel. And so I'm trying to decide like a combination. I don't necessarily like the suede here, mainly because I feel like there's some unfinished edge. Yeah, come zoom a little closer. Yeah, mainly because there's some unfinished edge around this button, and if you feel this microfiber against this, it doesn't feel the same. I think this is like a real thin microfiber suede, whereas this is like an Alcantara where it's thicker and more plush. So I think what I'm gonna do because I'm okay with these. This isn't as noticeable of like a difference in carbon fiber as the bottom one. The bottom one I really don't like because it's like curved and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the suede at the bottom, like in the bottom of the steering wheel here, and then do the 2 side pieces in carbon fiber. So to do that, we're going to use our alcohol and water spray, put it on a rag, and I just want to clean the surface here. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that no oil is on this, because if there's any oil on this, the glue won't, or the double-sided tape won't stick very well. And I don't want these things coming up on me. So we'll do that, then we'll let it air dry. We'll do all the different areas. Real simple. And all this is like, it's isopropyl alcohol that you'd like rubbing alcohol you find in your medicine cabinet. And I just mixed it like 50-50 with water. That way it's not as strong. All right. Wipe some of the excess off here. That way it dry a little quicker. All right. Okay, so we're going to do this piece first. Like I said, it's just going to sit kind of in that pocket. So the main thing we got to do is get it straight. Why is there a... Oh, bro, they left a... I'm not... There's like a little hole. See that? For the airbag. Well, I don't care about that. Everybody knows this car has an airbag. I don't need it to say airbag. So we're going to peel this off and leave that. Try to leave it to where there's not a hole in the suede. There we go. Let's see if I can leave it. Oh, I didn't mean to leave the adhesive backing. All right, we gotta peel that off too. I gotta try to peel this off without pulling the whole thing out. There we go. All right. So I think I'm gonna start at the bottom. It's kind of difficult to do. Gotta get it perfect. Oh, I killed it. Killed it. Crushed it. First try. Nailed it. All right, there we go. So now we've got... Oh, yeah, that is actually nice. I like it on the bottom because there's like a border to it, whereas up top here, the suede kind of sticks up, and so you'll feel the edge of it if you rub your hand over it. But right here, the middle piece down here is inset, so when you put the suede on it, it's kind of flush. I like that. All right, now we're going to move on to the side pieces. So for some reason, these are bent up just a little bit. So when I put them on the car, you can see that they're like sticking up. So they'll stick down, but it's double-sided tape, so we got to make sure we get a good stick here. You can stop the video. All right, the key here is we got to place the hole first because we want it to be centered on our button. The edges will work out, so what we'll do is we'll make sure we're centered on our button before we release it. That's it. Good firm stick here. Just the top edge. We're just going to push to kind of hold it in place. Button still works. All right. What do you think?
It'll look better with both of them.
Sure. That was an obvious one. I like it. All right. Now it's time to do this other one. Got to peel all this adhesive off. You can stop it. All right. Time for the last piece. Same thing. Make sure that the button is lined up. Stick it down, make our way up to the top. camera work was freaking killing it. All right, let me straighten my wheel out. All right, steering wheel finished. So we've got Alcantara all the way around, Suede insert in the bottom here, carbon look inserts on the sides. I think it came out pretty dang cool. Not bad for a factory wheel. And then, of course, you've got the blue stitch to go with the wrap in the outside of the car. So when you look at it from here, you've got a little bit of everything all matching. Super cool. We'll try to get, I'll pull it out in the driveway and get some video in the daylight so you can actually see, because it's not quite that bright in here. So super cheap mod. These were like $7. No, this was like $4. This was like $4. And again, it came with the whole thing. Oh, that doesn't look bad either. Oh, Landon, what do you think, dude? I kind of like both of them. Do you like that?
No, I like it how it was.
You like it how it was with the Suede on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, I've still got this if I decide I want to use it. And then, of course, I've still got these two inserts here. If I decide I want to go up top, I can pull the carbon fiber off and do the whole wheel in Suede. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't really like those as much as I like these. So, that's it. How to modify your Tesla steering wheel for $28. It was about $32 after shipping. And I had to wait about a week and a half for it. But totally worth it. I guess I could put it in gear. So bright. All right, let's get a look at it out here. Now the gloss and the blue stitching is really coming out. I still have to trim that one little stitch. How cool is that? Yeah, that's pretty sick. You see the blue stitching all the way around the top.